Those with one emergency management agency are giving out weather radios to community members. We hear why they can be life-saving. And an elementary school student is looking to make an impact beyond his community. We hear why he felt a calling to serve those in need.
And temperatures today were in the 70s and 80s once again, but we will cool off for the weekend. Details in a few minutes.
Mountain News, first at 4, continues.
Members of Harlan County Emergency Management spent the day delivering radios to folks in the community. WYMT's Amelia Lee tells us what they are for.
Folks living in the floodplains of Harlan County now have a new way to stay safe if and when severe weather or flooding hits their area. They were given weather radios. Now the Harlan County Emergency Management has already set up these radios so that people will get alerts. They'll be notified when and if that severe weather is coming towards their area so they can take those necessary precautions.
Floods come usually at night, and these are very loud. They'll wake them up. So thought it'd be a good thing to get to the citizens of Harlan County to help them prepare for storms a little better.
Stephen Lewis is the Harlan County Emergency Management Director. He says a grant actually made it possible to make these radios free of charge. Lewis says folks who got the radios are thankful for this new way to stay ready while living in a flood zone. Friday was the first phase of distributing these radios, and this was for the people near the Letcher County line and the river. There are actually 2 more phases planned, and the Harlan County Emergency Management will be announcing those dates and areas soon. In Harlan County, Amelia Lee, WYMT, Mountain News.
Coming up at 6, we'll hear more about the importance of these weather radios when it comes to flooding.
Yeah, very useful tool to have indeed in your home. Today, though, plenty of sunshine. Temperatures were in the upper 70s and low 80s. Right now, we're seeing plenty of sunshine out there on Buffalo Mountain. And temperatures right now, 70s and 80s. We're still at 80 in Jackson. Prestonsburg is at 80. 79 is the current temperature in Hazard. You go over towards Middlesboro as well as Jacksboro, seeing a temperature of 77 degrees as well. Wise is checking in with 70. Here's live pinpoint Doppler radar. All is quiet right now, but this will change as we go throughout the next few hours, as that cold front that we've been first alerting you to over the past several days is now going to push through. It's going to drop the temperatures as we go throughout the weekend. You can kind of see the rain chances pick up here on Future View as we go throughout the evening and overnight hours and into your Saturday morning time frame. Once the front pushes through, it's going to clear that cloud cover as well, and it's going to keep the temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Now, the question is, Halloween is now on the 7-day. Will Mother Nature give us a trick or a treat? Details in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve.
All right, thank you very much, Eric. Well, tomorrow marks 1 month since Hurricane Helen made landfall as a major hurricane, then took a deadly path through the southeast. With neighboring states like North Carolina and Tennessee still reeling in the wake of the hurricane, Kentuckians are continuing to step up and help. Tina Bryson with Christian Appalachian Project says 57 volunteers helped 26 different families get back on their feet.
Your mind can't even really process what you're seeing. So even several weeks later, our teams were going into houses still filled with mud.
Bryson says their main goal is to remove black mold or anything that could lead to black mold. She says they've received more than 300 calls from folks requesting help. Officials with Christian Appalachian Project say they have sent 19 semi-trucks filled with supplies to affected areas. A Southern Kentucky elementary school student organized a large amount of supplies for hurricane survivors in North Carolina. The Pulaski Elementary student heard about the widespread destruction and wanted to help. Owen Simmerman got the Best Buds Club to launch a supply drive in just a matter of days. He says he wanted to put himself in the position of the survivors, knowing if it happened here, he would need help as well.
Just streets full of things coming out of houses and everything, and it was all ruined. So I thought if we had that, we'd want to have what they had, so why not we give what we have to give it to them. Students collected toilet paper, diapers, mittens, jackets, and other items.
They were able to fill up a trailer in approximately 2 weeks. All the items were delivered to a high school in Rossman, North Carolina. One mother is on a mission to protect children with autism and ease the burden on their families. CBS's David Schuman reports from Twin Cities, Minnesota, about how 2 recent tragedies are fueling her drive to make a difference.
What you gonna play?
Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Okay, let's hear it.
For most of Daniel's life, he's tried to escape this house at every possible chance.
Good job.
A very common impulse for kids with autism, like him.
It is exhausting. It is exhausting mentally. It is draining physically, where you are constantly having to be one step ahead of your child.
Daniel's mother, Shaletta Brundage, tells us there have been some heart-stoppingly close calls, like once when he got out of her parents' home in Texas.
He is running full speed, flapping his hands and just having a good old time, headed to a 4-lane highway where cars are going 50 to 60 miles an hour in Houston, Texas. And thankfully, I was able to catch him before he got there because he wouldn't have stopped.
Then a few years ago, what Shaletta calls the game changer. Key-coded door locks for inside the house, keeping Daniel in, that cost about $30.
We turned the house into Fort Knox.
Shaletta now holds giveaways to get these locks to all families with autism. It started when a missing 4-year-old boy in Hopkins drowned this summer. This weekend, an 11-year-old escaped his home in Eden Prairie and also drowned. She's handed out nearly 600 of the locks. No charge, no questions asked, and another giveaway is in the works.
And it takes the anxiety and the fear and the worry away that my child may try to escape from the house.
The locks can also be opened with regular keys in case of emergency or a dead battery. David Schuman, CBS News, Minnesota.
Families can also use a system that makes different sounds when different doors are opened, which Shaletta Brundage uses for extra security. 4 SpaceX Crew 8 members are back from the International Space Station. Commander Matt Dominic, pilot Mike Barat, and mission specialist Jeanette Epps and Alexander Grabinkin departed the orbital outpost on Wednesday. They spent time orbiting Earth inside the Dragon Endeavour spacecraft before splashing down off the coast of Florida early Friday morning. It ends a 7.5-month mission. Coming up on First at 4, clothing brands are making a way for people to create a closer bond. We'll hear how after the break.
And weather headlines for tonight. Rain chances will continue this evening. We'll see mid-60s for the high end, but that warm weather is going to continue next week. Details in a few minutes.